G'day guys, welcome back. I am going to do a kind of a cloudy pour for you today. Now, I actually worked this out by accident. Do you guys remember me doing this pour here? It's dry now, so it's dried pretty much the same as what you've seen it on the video. And this was actually an accident, as I said. This metallic here was my rose gold. I'll just grab a bottle. I think I've still got some left. Where is it? Where is it? It's called Decoart Extreme Sheen. That's it there. And yeah, it just reacted all by itself. So I got some of the gold, which is that one, Extreme Sheen 24K Gold by Decoart. And I'm going to have a play with it today, but with global paints, and see if it will react like this. Because a lot of people in Australia, use this global paint, and I just thought I'd see how the Decoart, not that one, this one reacted with the global, because I've only used it with Liquitex Basics. And I can't keep buying Liquitex Basics paints. They're awfully expensive. So I'm going to see if I can get the same effect with the global. So the pouring medium today is just Floetrol. Floetrol reacts really well and makes cells on its own. You don't even need silicone oil when you're using Floetrol. But your cells don't have the stability that they do when you're using glue. So I prefer glue. Now, oh yes, Floetrol. This paint is really quite thin, and as I said, it reacts a lot. So it has got 1 part pouring medium, which is Floetrol, to 2 parts paint. It's pretty liquidy in here. This holds, say, 60 mils. So 60 mils of that, 30 mils of Floetrol. So that's that one. The navy, the dioxazine purple, and the black have been mixed 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. This turquoise, which is a lot thinner, has been mixed 1.5 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. So same consistency I've achieved, but I had to use a little bit less Floetrol because the paint's thinner. So it leaves a little mound. Little bit thinner than what I would use for my flip cup pours, but still a little mound. And the Floetrol makes it so beautifully and creamy. So a little mound. I find if I have it too thin, then the clouds, even though they look nice to begin with, you come back an hour or so later and they've just taken over the whole thing. So I don't like to have it too thin, my mix. So the colours are Deep Space, turquoise, dioxazine purple, and black. And I'm going to do another pour after this, and I'm going to take out the black, and I'm going to add white with some satin enamel. So that'll be the pour after this one, if you're interested in that one. And of course the Decoart 24K Gold Metallic. So that's that. Now, what I'm wanting is a dark centre with some gold in it. I'm going to be a little bit lenient with my gold and just put little amounts in. Probably going to need about 3/4 of that cup for this size, 30 by 40 centimetre. So I'm going to start with a good amount of the navy in the bottom, because I like the nice dark centre. And then, I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of gold. I don't want too much. I do want the gold and the turquoise to turn a beautiful sort of a greeny gold colour. Whoops, what am I doing? What am I doing? I want to pour that in, but just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. And then I want to go with the purple. And then some black. And then I thought it might be nice to drizzle the gold across the black, because those cells would look pretty, wouldn't they? Gold on black. Yeah, and then I'll go with some more navy, good amount of navy. It's kind of pushed the gold all the way across now. And then I'm going to leave the gold out, and I'll put some turquoise, some purple, some black, and then, okay, back to the gold. A little bit of gold, not too much. I'm not even sure whether or not the gold's going to react with these globals. I have no idea. Now I want a nice dark outside for my pour. Lots of black, and I'll keep the black because I'll no doubt use some of the black on the edges. And I've still got half my gold left, so if it's going to react the way I'm hoping it will, I don't need a lot, and that should be enough for my next painting when I add the satin enamels. Alright, let's hope for the best. Expect the worst, but let's hope for the best. Now I'm going to try and do maybe some smaller rings. Round and round we go. I have to move the cup around a little bit so that I don't get too much of a big blank spot. Now as the cup empties a little bit, I can actually get a bit closer to the surface. Oops, see, I'm going wriggly here. Don't want to go wriggly. I have to slow down a little bit, I think. Kind of losing my rings because it went a bit wriggly. I think my spout's a little bit big. Probably needed to have a little bit more of a point. Look at the gold, see how it's taken over? And I put such a small amount in there. I really wanted that dark blue center, but it doesn't look as if I'm going to get that, because the gold's really taken over, hasn't it? It's just amazing. Like I hardly had any gold in there, and it's just boom, really taken over. Anyway, let's see what it looks like. And this will be a little test, obviously. You know, if it's really powerful, this gold, then I can maybe use a quarter of the amount and use that one little bottle and get 4 pours out of it. Now I do want to have some black on my edges, so I'm just going to thin my black out just a touch. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of water just in my black, a bit of splash of water, and then I can spread it on the corners. I do like to have this a little bit thinner, this paint that I use for my corners, just so that the other paint can flow easily over it. It's not going to like hit it and then have to climb over a bump, you know what I mean? Don't run away, paint. Terribly reactive just yet, is it? But that's okay. I actually don't want it to react too much, because when your clouds react, or your paint reacts and creates those clouds, sometimes they just overtake everything and you lose the actual look of your painting. You know, because it's just a mass of clouds and you think, oh, where's all my colours, where's all my rings, and I just don't like that. So I want a little bit of an effect, but I don't want it taking over the whole thing. If that makes sense. Makes sense to me. just a mass of cells, or clouds I should say. It seems that this Decoart paint is quite reactive, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not it's just reactive to the Liquitex Basics, or whether I can get that same effect with this global, cheaper alternative. Okay, so we've got a few little cells happening along here. I just can't believe how much that gold's taken over, and I hardly used any of it. I guess it'll be really pretty when it's dry. It'll be very golden shiny, won't it, when it's dry? Just moving the paint around, getting it to stretch out. Oh, I love those rings. Maybe I'll just leave it like that. You don't have to have everything all, you know, rings all separated. Sometimes it's nice just to have that band there. Oh dear. I'll take it up a little bit. I guess if I didn't use so much paint, I could have left more of that bright band there. But because I've got so much paint on here, I kind of have to stretch it out. I don't really have an option. I have to get rid of some of it. Doing a lot at the moment. The gold is looking, I guess it's looking a little bit puffy, but it's certainly not reacting like it did with the Liquitex Basics. I don't know why. I don't know if it must have obviously something to do with the paint. Okay, let's go off to this corner. I want to see if I can keep some of that blue. So I'll go down here and then that way. Oh, I don't want to lose all my blue. All right, I'm just going to have to end up with a little bit of black on the corner there, because if I go any further, all that blue is going to be gone skis. Just fix up that little black corner there. Okay, now I will need to take it down to the other corner. Even though I hate to lose that bright paint. Just got too much paint on the surface here. Let's see if I can do that. And just keep a little bit of that bright, happy turquoise there. Or does that look too weird? It looks a bit odd, doesn't it? Okay. I have to go over, get rid of it. Down there, down there. Bye bye blue. Well, it certainly is very shimmery. It's a beautiful, beautiful paint. This Decoart Satin Extreme Sheen, it's called. Beautiful, beautiful paint. So when this dries, it's going to be amazing, but wow, it certainly takes over, doesn't it? Sure does. Well, I don't see any clouds really. So obviously it doesn't react with global. It is a pretty pour though, but yeah, certainly hasn't done its thing with the Liquitex Basics. Okay, I will take you down for a close-up, and as I said, I think it's going to be really, really pretty once it's dried, because that gold is amazing. And yeah, really like that turquoise in the center there. I probably needed to use, and I'll do it for my next one, tiny little bit of gold and a much more of the color in between the layers of gold. Yeah, just to get that more bright color. All right, let me take you down for a close-up. I don't even think you can pick up the shimmery of it, the shimmeriness of it. I don't think you can. I can see it with the naked eye, but I don't think the camera is going to pick it up. Don't think so. I have to look back on my video and see if it actually picks it up, but I don't know if it is. So there's the center, the turquoise, and then over here, that's really pretty. I wish I had more of that dark Suzanne purple in it. Alrighty, well, that was, I can't call it a failed pour. It wasn't a failed pour, it just, as far as clouds were, yeah, kind of failed a bit there. I guess the global doesn't react like the Liquitex Basics was, but the next one, as I said, I'm going to use the same paints and I'll use less gold, and I'm going to put some satin enamels in it. Actually, maybe I won't. I don't think there's probably any point me trying the global again, because I have tried the global with a satin enamel and it didn't work either. So I won't do that. I'll mix up what I can from the Liquitex Basics. I haven't got much paint left. Mix it up and then we'll go again with this gold, that extra little bit that I've got left. Okay, I'll see you for that one soon. Bye for now.